The Los Angeles Basin, a sprawling metropolis nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the San Gabriel Mountains. A city known for its sunshine, its celebrity, and its dreams. Now, it is a city on fire. 5 separate wildfires rage across the region, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Homes have been reduced to ash, lives have been lost. The air is thick with smoke, a grim reminder of the inferno that has gripped the city. From the canyons of Bel Air to the beaches of Malibu, the flames have spared no corner of Los Angeles. Driven by relentless Santa Ana winds and fueled by years of drought, the fires have consumed over 35,000 acres of land. Homes, businesses, and cherished landmarks have been swallowed by the flames. The scars of this disaster will remain etched on the landscape and in the hearts of Angelenos for years to come. The human toll is staggering. At least 10 people have been confirmed dead, their lives tragically cut short by the relentless flames. Nearly 180,000 residents have been forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in shelters and with family outside the fire zone. Thousands more remain under evacuation warnings, their lives on hold as they anxiously await news of their fate. The fires have upended lives, leaving a trail of uncertainty and despair in their wake. The economic impact of the fires is projected to be equally devastating. Early estimates place the cost at upwards of $50 billion, making it the costliest wildfire in California history. The fires have crippled infrastructure, leaving over 425,000 customers without power. Transportation networks have been disrupted, further hampering efforts to combat the blazes and provide aid to those in need. The road to recovery for Los Angeles will be long and arduous. 5 distinct infernos are currently ravaging Los Angeles County, each bearing a name that will forever be etched in the city's history of disaster: Palisades, Eaton, Hearst, Lydia, and Kenneth. Each fire burns with a terrifying intensity, fueled by the perfect storm of dry conditions and strong winds. The Palisades fire, the largest and most destructive of the 5, has already consumed nearly 20,000 acres in the Santa Monica Mountains. The Eaton fire, burning across 13,690 acres, poses a direct threat to the iconic Mount Wilson Observatory, home to vital communication infrastructure. The Hearst, Lydia, and Kenneth fires, while smaller in scale, continue to threaten homes and businesses, adding to the collective sense of fear and uncertainty gripping the city. Each fire presents its own unique challenges for the firefighters on the ground, battling fatigue and hazardous conditions to protect lives and property. Among the 5 fires, the Palisades fire stands as the most destructive in Los Angeles history. Its flames have leveled entire neighborhoods, reducing over 5,300 homes to smoldering rubble in Pacific Palisades alone. The firestorm swept through the canyons with terrifying speed, leaving residents little time to gather their belongings before fleeing for their lives. The images of charred foundations and burned-out cars serve as a stark testament to the fire's unyielding fury. The Eaton fire, while less destructive to structures, poses a different kind of threat. Its relentless advance toward the Mount Wilson Observatory has raised concerns about potential damage to the facility's vital communication equipment. The observatory houses numerous television and radio transmitters, serving millions in the greater Los Angeles area. A loss of these transmitters would disrupt communication networks and hinder emergency response efforts. In the face of this unprecedented disaster, the city of Los Angeles has mobilized all available resources to combat the inferno and provide aid to those affected. Over 60 fire companies, supported by a fleet of helicopters and aircraft, are working tirelessly to contain the blazes. First responders, many working grueling overtime shifts, are stretched thin as they race against time to save lives and protect property. The city has established numerous evacuation centers, providing shelter, food, and medical attention to those displaced by the fires. Recognizing the severity of the situation, President Biden has declared a federal disaster for Los Angeles County, unlocking vital federal aid to support the firefighting effort and assist with recovery. Over 400 federal firefighters have been deployed to the region, joining the ranks of their local counterparts on the front lines. 8 C-130 aircraft, equipped to drop fire retardant on the massive blazes, have been dispatched to the area, providing crucial air support to ground crews. The California National Guard has also been activated, deploying troops to assist with evacuation efforts and maintain order in the fire-ravaged zones. The presence of the National Guard serves to deter looting and provides a much-needed sense of security for those who have lost their homes and businesses. The coordinated response from local, state, and federal agencies underscores the severity of the situation and the collective commitment to aiding Los Angeles in its time of need. In a press conference, Louisiana Mayor Karen Bass, her voice heavy with emotion, addressed the city. "This is a crisis unlike any we have ever faced. But Los Angeles is strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together." Her words, a message of hope amidst the devastation, reflect the spirit of a city determined to rebuild and recover. The outpouring of support from neighboring cities and states, offering manpower, resources, and words of encouragement, has been a source of strength for a city grappling with unimaginable loss. As the flames continue to rage, a debate has ignited over the city's preparedness for a disaster of this magnitude. Critics point to recent budget cuts to the Los Angeles Fire Department, LAFD, as a contributing factor to the severity of the current crisis. Last year, Mayor Bass, in a controversial move, slashed the LAFD's budget by $17 million, diverting the funds to address the city's growing homelessness crisis. While the move was praised by some, others argued that it would leave the city vulnerable in the event of a major fire. Now, with thousands of homes reduced to ashes and the firefight far from over, those concerns have resurfaced with a vengeance. Opponents of the budget cuts argue that the reduced funding has hampered the LAFD's ability to respond effectively to the current crisis, leading to a greater loss of life and property. They point to the shortage of firefighters and equipment as evidence that the city was ill-prepared for a disaster of this scale. "This was a tragedy waiting to happen," stated City Councilman Bob Blumenfield, a vocal critic of the LAFD budget cuts. "We were warned that cutting fire resources would have dire consequences, and now we are seeing the results firsthand." Blumenfield, along with other critics, is calling for an immediate investigation into the city's handling of the fires and the impact of the LAFD budget cuts. The debate over the budget cuts is likely to continue long after the flames have been extinguished. It serves as a stark reminder of the difficult choices facing cities like Los Angeles, forced to balance competing priorities with limited resources. As the city begins the long and arduous process of rebuilding, it must also confront difficult questions about its preparedness for future disasters, and its commitment to funding essential services. The embers of controversy, like the embers of the fires themselves, will continue to smolder long after the immediate crisis has passed.